Hello guys, welcome back with me, Chie 2025 in Persona 4 Golden. I'm going to end this arts and entertainment from Mr. Edogawa TV Classroom, Interpreting Dreams. It's number 9.
Mr. Edogawa's TV Classroom.
Interpreting Dreams, Lesson 9. Hello there everyone, it's time for Mr. Edogawa TV Classroom. Everyone's love Jungian psychology, an invitation to the you that you don't know. We are in the 9th installment coming up on the home stretch. This time we're discussing interpreting dreams. Let's begin the lecture. Their name is Rumbel Stijant. Jung, dream interpreting. So far we discussed archetypes and psychological types, things Jung was famous for. This time let's learn about another distinctive feature of Jungian psychology, dreams analysis. As the name implies, dream analysis is the study of the psychological meanings behind dreams. This is commonly used as a synonym for Jungian psychology as a whole. Of course, Jung himself used dream analysis to treat his passion. This mystically and flamboyancy of that idea must make it popular. It's true that dreams are probably the most incomprehensible phenomenon of the human mind. You've already heard me mention dreams before in my previous lecture, right? I said that dreams are proof of the existence of the unconscious. Dreams and the unconscious are very closely related. That will be the starting point of today's lecture. Freud's dream theory. The first person to point out that the connection between dreams and the unconscious was Freud, Jung's mentor. You remember him, right? Yes, that Freud. Freud studied dreams and noticed that there were a lot of elements that fulfilled the dreamer's desire. He saw that dreams were phenomena where the desire of the unconscious elapsed into the conscious during sleep. To be blunt, you see dreams in order to feel good. I believe Freud's theory is quite convincing, but Jung's view varies a bit from it. Jung's mechanism of dreams. Jung heard about dreams from his patients, as well as recorded and studied his own dream in hope of learning their cause. The core of dreams is the basic property of the mind's function, something Jung himself theorized. I'll talk about this with the personality types. Do you remember that? What Jung saw at the mechanism behind dreams is the mind's tendency to compensate. In other words, he believed that dreams occur due to the power of conscious and unconscious compensating for each other. I feel like I've been repeating myself, but just one more time. Which is the mind, the conscious and the unconscious compensate for each other imbalance. They try to fix erroneous and incomplete parts of each other. And one such method of compensation is through dreams. Jung mechanism of dreams. Putting it into graphic, it compensates error and incompetent part. Conscious, dreams, unconscious. The unconscious is sending dreams to support the conscious. Just remember it like that. It's trying to fix erroneous and incomplete parts of the conscious. Dreams are the unconscious quip to the conscious. Maybe that's being too light on the subject? At any rate, just remember that dreams happen to compensate for erroneous and incomplete parts of the conscious. Various types of dreams. This is just a basic explanation of dreams. There's a lot more variety when you go into details. I'm going to be a little bold and try using more technical terms to describe what I mean here. The dreams that are based on things that you are aware of and help you think about them are called compensatory. Conversely, non-compensatory dreams are one that can help you to sort out potential problems from external sources. Non-compensatory dreams don't reflect the conscious mind, but can still be helpful in their own way. Those are the complete dreams, the dreams that your unconscious delivers to the conscious. There are also incomplete versions that get shown to the conscious as well. There are reiterative dreams which show even from real life, it's pretty much your memory replaying itself. Psychological dreams are dreams you have because of physical influence on your body while you're sleeping. So to recap, compensatory and non-compensatory dreams, along with reiterative and psychological dreams, you don't need to remember all that in detail. Just remember that there are several types of level of dreams. You forgot one. Twitch. I see your students are getting better. I didn't expect this comment from any of you. I wasn't going to bring this up, but now that it looks like I don't have a choice. So prepare yourself and listen up. Way to special a dream. Prophetic dreams. John did describe a very special type of dream. Prophetic dreams. Oh man, this is gonna be very controversial, I think. The other type had explanation that made sense, although it may take some effort to figure them out. But it's hard to give a reasonable explanation of prophetic dreams. Prophetic dreams predict the future, but there is no explanation given as to how anyone can predict events that they have no way of possibly knowing. Some trick and erroneous report even after going through this, John was left with the fact that they do exist. However, instead of denying or ignoring the type of dream, he tried to expound upon it. In the process, he began to look for the existence of telepathic power, but that's for another time. So you see, there are some dreams that not even John was able to explain. John's achievements span all sorts of places, so it's easy to go off track. Let's get back to dream analysis. How to analyze dream. Now, I'm sure that after hearing all this, some of you out there want to start analyzing your own dreams. I don't blame you. Is it really possible? Let's say you had a certain dreams and continue on from there. For example, you had a dream in which your father turned into a lizard man. And at the dinner table, old lizard dad is sitting there like normal, talking about the next vacation you'll take. After seeing this wonderful image, you feel that this dream has to mean something and search for an answer. So you check book and search the web for things about lizard in dreams, looking for a template interpretation. But Jung warned that this interpretation is only a one-side analysis. After all, lizard might hold some deep personal meaning to you that isn't the same as other people. So continuing on with the lizard dream, are lizards too creepy? Should I change lizard dad into a marshmallow man for this example? Let's stay with lizard dad. Let's make him a marshmallow. Let's stay with a lizard dad. The lizard might be a representation formed by the unconscious mind to express something creepy, an enemy. But it might be something other than the common image. Maybe you like lizard, or the first lizard you saw impressed you. In other words, your personal lizard may not be the lizard that other people perceive in their unconscious. So, is the thing you see in your dreams a symbol? Or are you dreaming about the thing itself? Without figuring out the difference, you'll have a hard time figuring out what your dreams are trying to say. That is to say, your unconscious is calling out to you, but you either aren't hearing it or are taking it the wrong way. Interpreting dream association. Jung proposed a method to solve this problem. That method is association. In this method, you ask the individual to expand on the personal experience they have with the image in dreams. In regard to the lizard, what do you think of when you hear the word lizard? What did it look like? What do you remember about it? Basically, you talk with the person and expand on the meaning of the dream, leading to the deeper interpretation. Interpreting dreams amplification. Jung also proposed another method, noting that dreams are stories created by the unconscious. Just as dreams are stories created by the unconscious for the individual, He took notice that there were stories created by the unconscious for the collective. Those stories are ancient mythology. He advocated the method of comparing dream to myth. This is known as amplification. In a dream in question is hard to interpret by personal experience. Looking at similar myths may lend to a hint about its meaning. Not only myths but fairy tales and the like are also used. Using this spot example and archive, you will supplement the dreams and interpret them. Accurate dreams interpretation using both association and amplification is very difficult. Leave it to the expert. Long conversation and personal counseling are necessary, and the analyst must be proficient. I must say that dream interpretation is not an easy task. Quick interpretation may be fun, but they lack credibility. While it's important to lend your ear to the unconscious, being tied down by an experienced interpretation would actually make the dream harmful. Now then, it's like it's time and that's it for today. What the hell? Mr. Edogawa typically has a different Jungian physiology. Sound really scary. It's midnight channel time.
Mr. Edogawa's TV classroom.
Lesson 10. Hello there everyone, it's time for Mr. Edogawa TV classroom. Everyone loves Jungian psychology, an invitation to the you that you don't know. The final lesson or grand finale differ into Jungian psychology. Is this ever going to end? It's hard to say, isn't it? Now then, let's begin the lecture. Fentla Space Cadets. Jungian psychology once more. Looking back, the unconscious, the collective unconscious, the pseudo and persona archetypes, complexes, personality types, and dream interpretation. I've managed to introduce you the main points of Jungian psychology to you. If you're a high school student, it might have been a bit hard for you. But you did well to come this far. So I think we can ease off on the lecture. Some of you might want to go even farther, get promoted, mold. For those people, I'll be glad to show you the next step. So today we'll talk about the power that helped John formulate his superhuman-like theories. He's interested in mystical, what you would call it the occult, bloodlines of mediums. From start to finish, his life had always been influenced by occult-like things. That was his fate, it was in his DNA. He was born in the Switzerland countryside to a family that was close to spirits. To be more specific, his father was a pastor and his mother was from a bloodline that can sense spirits. I think it's safe to say that his environment helped him foster an interest in religion and the spiritual. In fact, he did experience something psychologically important. For instance, when he was 3 or 4 years old, quite young, he had a dream he was unable to forget. It was a terrifying dream. In a throne room, past an underground tunnel, he saw a giant pillar of flesh known as the Man-Eater. That dream may have been the starting point for his passion toward dream interpretation. On top of that, John took notice of another personality within himself at an early age. Other personality was an old, dignified man who compensated for his feeling of inferiority as a boy. Sounds a lot like one of the archetypes he later proposed, the wise old man, doesn't it? It's become very scary, man. Psychic phenomena. It can't be said for sure that John's blood and upbringing caused this. But throughout his life he had multiple experiences with poltergeist phenomena. Some cases include his family oak table splitting in two and a steel bread knife shattering. John was also interested in the paranormal from a young age. He participated in gathering to summon the spirit of the dead and helped by a cousin who was a medium. It really showed how interesting John was about the occult. Studying the occult, when John began walking the path of psychiatry, he analyzed the things that occurred at the summoning. What John took there was psychological, meaning fruit warned against getting too deep into the occult. One of the factors in the deterioration of the relationship was this difference in viewpoint regarding the occult. Well, they did also disagree on some theories on psychoanalysis and had some personal incidents, but around the time Jung parted ways from Freud, he had a certain health problem. He himself became mentally ill. Period of mental illness. His mind had become so ill he would see vision and delusions. Even as he suffered his illness, he drew upon his experience as a psychiatrist and turned it into a subject of study. So what kind of vision did he see? Let me introduce one of them. There was a time when he saw a vision of Europe ending with a giant flood. A few months later, his First World War broke out. His vision became a reality. It seems like a prophetic dream, doesn't it? Jung interpreted this occurrence as the result of the unconscious sensing the oncoming danger of the war. During this time, he also came across ghosts. According to him, after a group of ghosts burst into his house, he then spent 3 days writing an essay. In a sense, he acknowledged the existence of ghosts, but he saw those ghosts as projection of his unconscious. A psychiatrist's bizarre experience. Treating people as a psychiatrist, sometimes he came into experience as a praise rational though. Jung was interested in things like that as well. I'll relate a well-known anecdote about Jung as an example. This happened when he was talking with a female patient, interpreting her dreams. She was talking about a golden scarab. In a dream, at the moment, an actual beetle flew into the room. When this occurred, her mind was altered, and so was the treatment. Jung took notice of this mechanism of coincidence. This meaningful coincidence leads to synchronicity and constellation. Jung interviewed this with archetypes and theorized about we're skipping that, maybe some other time. Jung Eastward. Jung was also interested in Eastern religion and ideology, which was a rare study at the time. Hindu philosophy, Zen ideology, Chinese fortune-telling, alchemy, his inspiration came from everywhere. Take the mandala, for example. That's a type of art in the Buddhist and Hindu religions, usually with many gods or Buddhas drawn on them. He realized that there was a similarity between the structure of that art and the treatment he underwent during his illness. Jung knew from experience that you can't see a state of the mind through painting a circle. He found a common point between drawing a circle and mandalas. It seemed he tried expanding his knowledge of relation that science couldn't explain by reading the I Ching, a Chinese system. Jung identified synchronicity and meaningful coincidence were influenced by the I Ching. I Ching, I don't know. Now then, when talking about Jung's achievement and the occult, you cannot mention alchemy. Alchemy is a magical technology that people dreamed of long ago, purposely to turn lead into gold. Jung interpreted the principle of the process as a representation of individuation. The influence of alchemy on Jung is obvious, as he has left several works on alchemy. He really took interest in the alchemic concept of the union of opposites. Thinking of opposite properties eventually becoming one complete object. That idea became one Jungian psychologist's root. Going this far in, you almost feel that all this talk of his occult study is rather mild. Jung and the UFO. Jung would have his original knowledge not only through psychiatry study but by digging deep into the occult. Cognitive unconscious, complex archetype, psychology type, psychiatry, dream interpretation, alchemy, I Ching, religion, myth, mandala, UFO. He sure had a lot of energy. Not only did he take an ancient thing like mythology, but he even integrated new mysteries into his study. Modern mysteries such as UFOs, their very existence is doubtful, but Jung tried to explain the existence of UFOs. And his result were, well, I make this short. UFOs are an icon of postmodern anxiety coming from the collective unconscious. UFO are the modern day mandala. Sum it up, perhaps you'll be able to understand what that means with the knowledge you've gained from this lesson. To illustrate how deeply John delved into the experience of ancient ideology and theology, suppressing the border of theology. In his later years, he attended Erasmus, an intellectual exchange for all sorts of thinkers all across the world. He directly and conscientiously exchanged idea and opinion with some of the best scholars in a number of fields. John associated with a variety of famed minds, even outside of Erasmus. The author has the psychiatrist Pauli, and many big politicians were among his associates outside of his field. His achievement, influenced by a variety of people, has suppressed the border of psychology and psychiatry. His work is not limited to psychiatrists. Philosopher, author, and artists as well find inspiration in his work. He was one of the few psychologists that actually influenced the way people think, suppressing the border of theology. This final lecture was a lot to swallow, but if anything I said interests you, I encourage you to look it up. I'm sure something deep within your conscience will change or give you the opportunity to change. Oh, and because these lessons are all my own personal opinion, I end on a disclaimer that no effects are guaranteed. Until we meet again, Nati Shunde, Gafanusun, Jegusle Zinus. I don't want to. Okay. Wow, this is scary, man. What the hell? What the hell I just watched later? Yeah, big team. Okay guys, I think that's it for today's video. It's already midnight, man. Time for, midnight channel. I don't want to play it, I'm too scared. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and see you again on the next episode. Have a nice day.